welcome to the channel. I hope you're all well. Today we're going to tie a dry fly, and it's an emerger, and it's just a little bit different. It is a quill and Arctic hare emerger. So in the vise I have a size 16 curved bend hook, and I'll be tying with a beige 10-0 tying thread. Right, I'm going to start this just a little bit behind the eye and wind down about 1/3 to create a bed. I'll trim up the excess. And wind back about halfway. Right, Arctic hare. This is the Arctic hare's foot. Now this is a very springy material, so you're going to get some fibres going in all different directions. But try and take out a tuft that is around the same length and take it off. Right, now there's going to be a lot of loose fibres, especially at the base, and I'm going to take those off. Take out these shorter fibres and the fluff. Just take your time. There. And I'm going to tie this in facing forwards. One loose wrap, and then a couple of tighter wraps to tie it down, and then tie down, going down towards the point of the hook, and trim up the excess at an angle, like so, and tie down the rest of the Arctic hare. I'm just going to move this round in the vise a little. Right, now for the shuck, I'm going to use just a little piece of silk, beige silk. Tie that in. And wind down around the bend of the hook. Like so. Right, now I'm going to use some peacock quill or peacock herl and then strip it to become a strip quill. And I'm just going to do this with my fingers. And you can do it with a rubber or whatever method you like. Just takes a couple of minutes. Strip it the best that you can, get off as many fibres as you can. Let me just find that weaker spot, which I've done, and tie in the quill. And wind your tying thread up the shank, trim off the excess, and tie in the shuck silk up to the thorax area. And try and make it as neat as possible. Right, now before I wind on the peacock herl, I'm just going to add just a touch of glue to hold it in place, because we won't be varnishing this. So that should keep it in place. And wind up the hook in open wraps. And as you go up the hook, you can open up the wraps slightly. The idea is that we're giving this a segmented effect. And tie off the peacock quill. And trim it up. Right, now at this stage I'm going to pull back the Arctic hair fibres and build up a little bit of thread at the front. To try and get it to stand up. I'm going to move the hook back into the vise. Right, now for the thorax area I'm going to use some fox squirrel. And we'll tie that in at the back. Just put that back in the vise. Came loose. Pull back the fibres. Just tighten up this squirrel and at the front also. Pull back those fibres and create a head. And tie off the fly. I'm going to use a half hitch tool. And trim up the tying thread. Just get rid of some of these fibres around the front. And I'm going to put just a little bit of UV onto the knot to seal it and create the head. Like so. Give that a zap. And make sure that the eye is clear. And get rid of that excess varnish. And trim up the shark. Now the length of that is entirely up to you. Something like that. Right, now you can trim up some of these longer fibres. Try and keep them all around the same height for the wing. And there you have the finished fly. It's an emerger that with a little bit of floatant will float well and will certainly do the job for you. You can just pick out some of these fibres from the fox squirrel if you so wish. And there you have the finished fly. Very simple emerger with slightly different materials, but it works well. Hope you enjoyed the tying. Thanks for viewing, and please give it a thumbs up, share it if you so wish, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.